just never know when I'm going to start tearing up. I mean, the emotion is always there, um, but it surfaces at the weirdest times.
The voice returned across the speaker, small and weak, and Janelle sat at her Flagstaff dinner table, her phone clutched in her hand. Millions of others already had heard the podcast interview, but to Janelle, each sentence was a fresh wound. Garrison was a difficult child. He no longer had respect for the family principles. Even after doing my best to win him over, he had finally opted for division. He was responsible for that. Far beyond the point that the audio had ended, the words still echoed. Janelle blinked, needing air. Garrison, her son, had been buried way too young, and his father, having raised him, was standing here, having ignored his tribulation and misery as an afterthought to Kody's pride. It was not only mean, there was no mercy. She stood up slowly, grief burdening her every movement. Garrison in his National Guard uniform, smiling with brother Gabriel as a young man and holding infant Savannah were in photographs strewn about the room. A good son, a lost, hurt, and mournful young man who was loved, so dearly loved, and now publicly humiliated by the man who should have stood up for him online. The reaction came quickly and angrily. The hashtags Justice for Gar, Cancel Kody Brown, and Boycott TLC rapidly dominated social media. As opposed to recent confessional interviews where Kody accused his kids of the breakdown of the family, screenshots of past episodes where Garrison had begged for attention from his father once again surfaced. The old dynamic was analyzed on Reddit forums. With Kody as a prime example, TikToks broke down the psychology of narcissistic parenting. But the anger was not reserved for strangers. "I don't know how you're doing." Christine texted Janelle from her new place in Utah, her hands trembling. "I'm exhausted with this. Allow me to rise there." As she heard Kody speak, Mary placed her lips in a trembling hand while silently watching the soap opera from the retreat center she had been tending to since the breakdown. Her motherly nature was ablaze even with them in the past. Coalitions did not matter to her anymore. To them all, Garrison had been a child. Grace was owed to him, but Robyn, who usually remained voiceless throughout the tempest, was losing her temper. Robyn was undergoing a breakdown within the Flagstaff house. It had been days since she had eaten. The blinds remained shut. Aurora and Brianna sat for hours watching their mom cry, curled up in a fetal position on the couch. She kept repeating, "I told him not to say it," with mascara-streaked face pressed into the cushions. I told him. She had pleaded with Kody to be quiet and mourn in seclusion so as not to fuel the situation. But Kody was furious. Angry over the loss, angry over the rejection, angry that his boys had emotionally cut themselves off from him well before Garrison died. And he acted out of his hatred publicly. With honor, Robyn's flesh was now being seared like acid by the repercussions. Plus, she felt as if everything was against her. She was now called the enabler, the accomplice, and the behind-the-throne manipulator instead of the good wife. Ancient videos of her weeping and wide-eyed ranting were revisited on gossip sites and discussion forums. Critics wondered how much of it was based on performance and how much was real. Shame lay in wait behind the grief. Kody had informed her that he was the only one who actually loved his family, and she had taken him at his word. She wasn't even sure he still knew what love was. Nevertheless, the media hysteria grew. When Janelle finally hit her breaking point, she phoned TLC representatives and demanded a statement. "You'll be endorsing the public humiliation of my late son if you continue recording him without accountability," she said icily. She spoke unflinchingly. There was nothing more she had to lose. Mary and Christine, on their part, discreetly connected with Maddie, Pawn, Gabe, and Gwen. Once they broke themselves, the adult children began healing each other. For themselves, not just for Garrison. In their group discussion, Gabe was the first to mutter, "He's not our dad anymore. He lost that. We can still protect each other, however. We have to." That is what Garrison would have wanted. As this settling of accounts was going on, Kody did what he had always done when he was in trouble. He altered who he was. In Sedona, Arizona, he registered for a men's leadership summit, an exclusive weekend retreat for visionary alphas rediscovering purpose. It was there that he encountered Vanessa Kendall in a candlelit hall filled with blazers and incense. She was 41, bright-eyed, charming, and a former life coach turned masculine energy healer with a burgeoning following on podcasts. While Kody provided a loose intro, she knew who he was. She just did not care about the scandals or pretended they did not exist. "You're a man who has lived a big life," she said, leaning her head to one side. "That's rare. Men like to play small. You didn't." Kody was hit with those words like morphine. He followed her into clandestine meals, seminars, and fireside conversations at night in the desert. He wasn't being shouted at, scolded, or removed for the first time in months. Garrison was a stranger to Vanessa. Janelle and Christine were also strangers to her. She was only accustomed to the Kody he was now constructing, a battered warrior reclaiming his throne. Days following, the pair were spotted smiling and walking hand in hand in Scottsdale. The TMZ picked it up. Kody Brown continues after family breakup, discovers new love. But the response was negative. Dirty comment sections. "You're honeymooning with a spiritual guru and your son died. Abhorrent. All gone for him. He is now playing like he had a choice." And it was, in so many ways. Robyn gazed blankly at the photos of Kody and Vanessa in Flagstaff. She did not cry. She didn't scream. Her eyes were empty as she simply stared. She hadn't even been forewarned by Kody. They should have been mourning together. Instead, he'd left her and leveraged Garrison's death as a springboard for another transformation. Weeks later, the last blow was served. The Brown Children Speak in Honor of Garrison is a 1-hour special that TLC has unveiled. In it, Maddie, Gabe, Gwendolyn, and Pawn sat together on a quiet stage and spoke the truth about the absence of their father, about Garrison's agony, about their shared trauma. With his eyes brimming with tears, Gabe said, "He just needed to be seen. But Dad no longer had room for us. He was attempting to tell a story that didn't fit us." They reclaimed the story at that exact moment. The children revealed the Garrison Project, a nonprofit dedicated to men's mental health and preventing suicide. Donations poured in. The public support shifted irreversibly. Kody was no longer at the helm of the Brown family. He was its warning. Robyn remained isolated. Mary quietly distanced herself from the franchise and expanded her business. Once forever altered, Janelle began speaking out on parental alienation. Christine, now married again and blissfully so, stood by the kids and their cause without faltering. And Kody, Vanessa, vague platitudes of spirituality and a future not defined by the family he once controlled were all that Kody held on to. Behind his eyes was a sorrow that he would never admit to, a loneliness so overwhelming it was beyond description. But he talked of forgiveness, healing, and new beginnings because Garrison had departed, and the last hope for redemption went with him. And there is more. Gwen Brown, daughter of Kody Brown from Sister Wives, has become estranged from him, and perhaps they will never be reconciled. When he married his first wife, Mary Brown, the patriarch of the Brown family was in his early 20s. He came to the realization that having several children and growing his family was his true calling. After a year with her, in an attempt to expand his family, Kody married his second wife, Janelle Brown, in 1993. He then married his third wife, Christine Brown, shortly after. Kody has 13 kids from his first 3 wives, 6 with Janelle, 6 with Christine, and 1 with Mary. He raised his kids well, but once he wedded Robyn Brown, everything went downhill. He forgot all about his former wives and older children to spend more time with his fourth wife. Most of Kody's sons, such as Garrison and Gabe Brown, were disappointed over time. Besides, he was estranged from his daughters, such as Madison, Isabel Brown, and Gwen. Various of Kody's children, like Gwen, used social media to express their feelings, discuss the family drama, and share secrets. Gwendolyn has been open about the ways her father, Kody, has disappointed her. She explained why she didn't have a close relationship with her father anymore and discussed the issues she had with him. Gwendolyn mentioned some time ago that Kody didn't care about her or the other older children in the family. On an episode of TLC Sister Wives, Gwendolyn stated that her dad only took care of the little ones in the family, which implied that he liked being a father to his 5 kids with Robyn because she is the youngest in the family. She sat down with her mom Christine and brothers Garrison and Gabe to discuss her dad's actions. On a TLC Sister Wives show, Gwendolyn expressed her feelings. She sat with her mother Christine and brothers Garrison and Gabe and discussed her father's behavior. "Oh my God, think your dad loves you," Gwendolyn said jokingly, suggesting that she is envious of the younger children who receive hugs from Kody. Gwen's way of presenting this remark was such that she seemed to believe Kody did not care about her or the other older siblings. Kody has done nothing to change her perception, which is making things worse. In 2023, Gwenlyn posted some cryptic words on social media to express her sentiment. On her YouTube channel, she gave followers episode summaries and clarified that she never had a close relationship with her father. Gwen realized that Robyn is a lot more affectionate towards Kody than Kody is with his children. I don't recall coming home from kindergarten or something, and my dad being pleased that I finished all my lunch or that I had made a friend in school, she continued, suggesting that her mother was always the one noticing whether she was fine or not. Gwen also noticed that Kody never appeared for her. She explained that Kody never stood up for her, comparing her childhood to Robyn's kids. It's awful that I'm making it about myself, but it hurts so much watching him be a good dad to others when I didn't get all that much. Gwenlyn admitted she was still glad for her younger siblings, who were getting the fatherly affection they deserved. Even though she did not get the same, Gwenlyn has not been shy about criticizing and tearing down Kody on social media in response to Sister Wives shows. She has made forceful statements against him, assuring her fans that she does not have any respect for him anymore. On Patreon, Gwenlyn once made some shocking claims against Kody's behavior and called him a coward. In her opinion, her dad behaves cowardly when dealing with family matters, particularly when it pertains to his relationship with his wives and children. She did not hesitate to condemn him for what he had done. Gwenlyn also provided a possible reason why Kody is not as nice and sweet to her siblings, her mom, and his other wives. She claimed that Kody is a massive misogynist, implying that he harbors hostility toward the family's female members. It's unexpected that Gwenlyn would say something so daring about Kody, but if she is evaluating him based on her interactions with him, it makes sense why she feels this way. Gwen may consider Kody a sexist because he is more concerned with himself than with his wife, or she may consider him a self-centered narcissist who cares only for himself. After the death of Garrison, Kody began socializing with a few of the family's older kids. He may thus attempt to patch things up with Gwen as well. She is independent and strong-willed woman with strong beliefs. However, she could choose to reconnect with her dad, but she could never fully forgive him for the things he had done in the past. Their relationship would not last long, even if she forgives Kody. Gwen and Kody's relationships may ultimately deteriorate due to her independence, which would create more tension and possibly more consequences. So far, he had been trying to bond with his children, but only at Robyn's urging. Kody explained that he wouldn't go after kids who spurn him. I text one of my kids and they send back a note saying, "You're a piece of trash. I would never speak to you again anyway." It will be difficult to improve their relationship because Gwenlyn is probably going to reject the Sister Wives cast member. Robyn Brown and Kody Brown from Sister Wives used to reside in a lavish million-dollar home with an exquisite bathroom that represented their lavish lifestyle. In 2010, Robyn joined Kody, who was already married to Mary, Janelle, and Christine Brown. He immediately realized he wanted a big family and began a family with her. In order to adopt Robyn's children and grow their family, Kody divorced Mary, his legal wife, in 2014 and married Robyn. The couple went on to have 2 biological children together, Ariella in 2016 and Solomon in 2011. Robyn and Kody were polygamous at first, but as their bond got deeper over time, they eventually became more of a monogamous marriage. Since Kody spent most of his time with Robyn, the other sister wives, Janelle, Mary, and Christine, felt neglected as a result of their strong friendship. Mary, Janelle, and Christine made the decision to break up with Kody between 2021 and 2023 in order to follow their goals in other places. This led to the conversion of Kody and Robyn's polygamous relationship into a monogamous marriage. Numerous members of the Brown family have accused Kody and Robyn of having extravagant spending habits. One of their children, Gwendolyn Brown, has even called them shopaholics. A Sister Wives follower named @mindful_snugget recently shared some photos from Kody and Robyn's former house, providing evidence in favor of their assertions. One image in particular showed off their opulent bathroom, which included a basin in the Flintstone style and ornate decor. The couple's apparent desire to spend a significant sum of money on their bespoke bathroom was suggested by the additional gems beside the sink. Another picture featured Kody and Robyn's entryway, which included walls decorated with seashell artwork. Their main bedroom was also shown in the photos, complete with a massive king-size bed, a large pink carpet, a matching pink picture, and a number of pricey paintings. The bed size and personalized design made it seem even more opulent. There were statues, elaborate plants, a soft couch, and various pieces of art throughout the bedroom. But there were also some oddities, such an odd bust, a painting of horses kissing, and an old-fashioned bow and arrow on the wall. A lot of Redditors saw that Kody and Robyn's old home had a number of crystals in the bathroom. They thought it odd that the couple would have spent a lot of money on bathroom decor that didn't go with the style of their home as a whole. Whether Kody and Robyn believe in the qualities of crystals was questioned by some fans. Others conjectured that the ornamental crystals were probably more than $200 in price. According to one Redditor, that **T ain't cheap at all. The amethyst crystals were probably very costly. Although fans were amazed by the decor, they also pointed out that everything in their house appeared a little too extravagant. Some even assert that while money can purchase goods, excellent taste in fashion cannot. Many of Kody's relatives have accused him and Robyn of wasting money on pointless things over the years. These accusations have been further stoked by Robyn's fixation with American Dolls and the Sister Wives couple's costly diamond purchases. Kody Brown has defended his devotion to Robyn, the final woman remaining in the ruins of Sister Wives for years. However, in a shocking turn of events, a recent episode revealed what viewers had never anticipated: Kody re-establishing contact with his arranged children without Robyn's assistance. It was poignant, fruitful, and strangely fun. And that's precisely the issue. For the first time in years, fans witnessed Kody and his daughter Aspen have an honest, unvarnished conversation without any ego, deflection, or most importantly, Robyn dictating every word. As a result, fans saw Kody they hadn't seen in a long time. At risk sincere there. In a Valentine's Day recap, Kody revealed more than he probably meant to. At that point, the most important question wasn't whether he could mend his broken family, but rather if Robyn had been the one causing it to fall apart in the first place. He acknowledged that while traveling 8 hours to Utah to see his daughter Aspen, he also unintentionally ran across a number of his other children. However, the reunion wasn't the only noteworthy event. It was the fact that he went into such depth about having a sensitive talk with Aspen. Kody, for once, didn't mince words. He confessed his love for his daughter, expressed regret for the hurt he caused, and acknowledged his absence. It seemed as though viewers were seeing Kody's first and censored appearance. The father of 18 had been lacking these qualities for years. But Robyn's response when he described the conversation with Aspen is telling. He felt unfiltered, profound, and prepared for introspection. Even though Robyn wasn't around to witness it firsthand, she continued to frame it as a confrontation instead of offering support. Reddit was inundated with people criticizing Robyn's tendency to turn Kody's interactions into something bad if his children from his previous spouses are involved. Viewers have often noticed this pattern. Whenever the original family tries to get back together, Robyn either inserts herself or, as it stands in this instance, seeks to undermine it. It's unclear if she's acting intentionally or in response to a threat. By the time Robyn joined the family in 2010, Kody had been married to his first 3 wives for about 20 years. In the end, he separated from marry his legal wife to wed Robyn. With Robyn's arrival, the entire family dynamic changed, and watching it unfold on television is one of the reasons Sister Wives is such a popular show. The vocabulary, access, and even the emotional tone of Kody's subsequent relationships were greatly influenced by Robyn. Remember how she emphasized how family get-togethers are unsafe during Even though her nanny and the nanny's husband were free to come and go from their home, she insisted on stringent quarantine regulations for everyone else. Kody could enjoy that Robyn continuously boosts his ego in a manner that his previous spouses never did. See how he boasts about her modeling experience. To make matters worse, she also twists the story to make his elder children seem unfriendly or unfaithful to the family. Regretfully, the harm had already been done by the time the majority of the Brown children reached adulthood. Whether on purpose or not, it appears that she has been successful in separating him from the most significant individuals in his life. The worst part is that Robyn's compassion for Kody's children comes across as theatrical. Given that Robyn's natural tendency is to exert control over the situation, it is difficult to think she genuinely wants a reconciliation. And if Kody allows it, the most recent Sister Wives episode demonstrates that this pattern is still going strong. Although Kody's trip to Utah hasn't resolved every issue, it did reveal something significant. When Robyn isn't present, Kody is less guarded and more emotionally available. He seemed to be having one of his most genuine conversations with Aspen in a long time. However, Robyn's response made it apparent that she considered it a threat. It's not about whether Kody can mend his broken family at this time. It's time to figure out what has been standing in the way all along. And every indication points to Robyn. Sister Wives' 19th season premiered on April 20th, following a mid-season hiatus. And the May 4th episode was the TLC series' final attempt to address the untimely death of Kody Brown and Janelle Brown's son, Garrison Brown. On March 5, 2024, at the age of 25, Garrison took his own life. In Blessed Are Those Who Mourn, the most recent episode of the reality TV show, Janelle and Kody, who is currently only married to his fourth wife Robyn, decide to bury Garrison in Wyoming due to the Brown family's ties to the state. Even though the episode is still filled with grief over his dying, Janelle acknowledges that her son's death has provided the Browns with some healing. Kody brings his family to Kody, Wyoming in the interim so they can concentrate on doing happy things. The whole Brown family is adjusting to life without Garrison in Sister Wives Season 19 Episode 24. Kody Brown and Janelle Brown decided that because of their deep familial ties to Wyoming, they would bury their son there. In a confessional she revealed, Kody actually grew up in Wyoming. My mother was married to Kody's dad. The Browns have long roots in Wyoming. Both Kody's dad and my mom are buried there, and I went to bury Garrison next to my mom. She went on. He was very much shaped by his experiences going for the summer, working there on the ranch. Maddie Brown Brush, Janelle's daughter, then went on to explain why Wyoming would be the ideal location for her brother's funeral. Kody revealed in his own confessional that he was content and that he and Janelle could set aside their tense relationship to decide where to bury Garrison. I remember sitting there with Janelle and I was just going, hey, I really just want to take my boy home. And so I said, let's take him back to Wyoming and let's bury him next to Grandma Cheryl. We just totally agreed that would be the right thing. In addition, Janelle stated that she would like to be buried beside her son. The little cemetery the family chose feels very Wyoming. In addition, the whole Brown family gets ready to travel to Wyoming for his funeral. The episodes that deal with Garrison's passing examine how Kody Brown's current and former wives, Robyn Brown, Christine Brown, Wooly, Mary Brown, and Janelle Brown have been handling the fallout from the tragedy. Despite the continued estrangement among several family members after their splits from Kody, Mary revealed in one scene in episode 24 that the whole Brown family set aside their differences and gathered in Wyoming to bid Garrison farewell. Everyone was together except for one, and it took him passing to get everybody together, and that is just heartbreaking. But also that's so like Garrison, Mary says emotionally during a confessional. Even if the Browns are still at odds, Janelle expressed her personal feelings about how her son's passing made them somewhat closer. Janelle went on, that was our biggest goal because a lot of plural families raise them as separate households. Sometimes they don't even have anything to do with each other, but we really set out to make them siblings. I think we've been successful. Kody, his wife Robyn, and their kids Dayton, Aura, Brianna, Solomon, and Ariella are shown later in the episode remaining in Kody, Wyoming, which is close to the city of Levelville, where Garrison is buried and where Kody grew up. In a confessional, he discussed how he and his family could begin to move on after Garrison's passing. We're moving through our grief because you need that time of mourning, Kody stated. This was a much lighter moment during the episode, which continued to heavily focus on Garrison's passing. We're doing mourning things to respect and love the dead, to mourn, to own that pain. We're doing happy things. We're doing happy things so that we are moving on from mourning, so we can have faith in the hereafter and in our own futures and our own lives. Kody revealed the numerous signs he sold for a number of the downtown shops with his family as he took them on a tour of the small town. In addition, the family enjoyed ice cream, a show, and a ride in a horse-drawn carriage. Kody tells his family over dinner at a nearby restaurant how Buffalo Bill, also known as William Frederick Kody, inspired his moniker. He was a scout for the U.S. Army, and later on in his life he became friends or business partners with Sitting Bull, and they traveled with the Wild Wild West show. Basically, he was a showman. He was an entertainer. I think I'm sort of entertaining. I try to entertain you, Kody said in response to Robyn's question. So do you think that's like you? The family laughed when he joked. I think he was probably very charming, very entertaining, very friendly, and maybe a bit of a ladies' man, I'm assuming. I don't think I'm a ladies' man at all. Later in a confessional, Kody said, I had 4 wives, that's all. I wasn't a ladies' man, and having 4 wives didn't make me a ladies' man. Robyn disagrees with her husband, saying he did have 4 wives. I mean, like, most people would consider that a ladies' man, but whatever. Finally, we see Janelle with her youngest daughter, Savannah. To find out how they honored Garrison, they traveled to Flagstaff, Arizona to see the High Country Humane Society. Janelle, who adopted 3 cats, considers Garrison's passion for felines. She revealed that Garrison's nursing pals wanted to honor him by suggesting that the Humane Society receive a donation. From then, Janelle found out. It snowballed, and all of the centers in the Flagstaff region received exceptional gifts. Janelle and her daughter visit the Humane Society and see the memorial plaque in a room named for Garrison, where prospective adopters can meet cats. They also find out that over 30 cats got new homes and over $25,000 was given after Garrison's passing. Let us know in your comments and stay tuned by subscribing our channel to get more updates like this. Thanks everyone.